just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
From both sides of the coast. Hello? From both sides of the coast to now the upper Midwest, the CharlieCar Championship welcomes you back for race number 4 of the season. Tonight, we are at the wonderful and fastest track on the schedule, Michigan International Raceway. We've got 70 laps on hand for you guys tonight, and a lot of storylines coming into this one. Ryan DaCosta coming off of a 2-race win streak, as well as points position 2nd through 11th being separated by just 4 points. Joining me in the booth tonight is Randy Eggers, and filling in for my good friend and colleague Keelan Belsha, Alex Schumacher is joining us as well. Guys, Randy Eggers, how are you doing tonight, and what are your expectations?
Good. My expectations for this race are, I don't really know. Last race we saw a really good green flag race, no cautions due to any incidents at all. But this track is a whole different beast compared to Phoenix. I'm going to compare this, because the closest thing we've seen is Charlotte, so I'm going to compare this to Charlotte. Hopefully we don't have quite as many incidents as that, but I'm thinking it's going to be a lot of 4-wide, risky maneuvers, and hopefully a great race here today. What about you, Alex?
Absolute great crowd here today. Absolutely awesome to be here as a native commentating over my own track. I think we're going to see a really hectic, chaotic race. Michigan's a track that draft matters, track position matters. I think the outside lane is going to be important as well. We've seen the outside lane in these next gens be very, very crucial, especially at Charlotte, like you mentioned. I'm expecting another pit strategy race. These cars could get spread out, and I think coming down pit road at the right time, just like we saw last week with Ryan DaCosta, is going to be the difference here at Michigan. Of course, Michigan has had dozens of fuel mileage races, so that always has to be accounted for as well.
Michael Pruitt starting on the pole today, and his Ford teammate to his outside, Travis DePaille, will make up your front row. Eli Comerford and Lars Dierks make up row number 2. Randy Eggers and Mason Beyer make up row number 3. Jack DeAndrea and Kenneth Bueno make up row number 4, and that's going to round out your top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's like the top 8-ish. But yeah, we're getting things started pretty quick here today. Pace car is off, and we're going to be underway here as Michael Pruitt's going to take the green flag. Race number 4 is underway, and 3 more to the playoffs here at Michigan.
Pretty even start there between the 2 front runners. Going off into turns 1 and 2. It looks like the 39 car might get a little bit of an edge on the high lane. No. Pulling right alongside the bottom lane here. Coming with a strong run.
Barreling down the backstretch, the entire field comes. 3 wide, they're starting to fan out. This is definitely a wide enough track where you can go 4 wide. Looks like Randy in that bottom lane spreading out, trying to poke a nose to the inside.
And 4 wide has been very, as we've seen over the course of this season, guys, 4 wide is iffy in the CharlieCar Championship. And this is definitely a track that has the room to do that. I think a little bit more room is going to help these guys get through those situations a little bit better, but it definitely won't stop them from happening, or at least help the situation. Mike Pruitt will lead lap number 1. He's going to dip to the inside to try to get clear of Shasta Pie. It looks like he's going to get it off of turn number 2.
Stratus had a run. He had a push there, but he couldn't quite get to the lead there as the 52 slipped in front of him. But now he's on the bottom with that 23 behind him, looking into turns 3 and 4. Amazing run for the 52 mid-corner. Can the 32 of Stratus do anything with that off the corner? No, he cannot.
Coming to lap 3 here out of 70. That outside lane is hauling like a train. I don't think that outside lane is going to have any competition unless someone gets up there and pushes someone up to Michael here. Just an absolute unbelievable drive as everyone battles intensely behind. 3 wide throughout. You could look anywhere in this pack and find a great action battle.
Stratus Tapai is going to hold on that second spot, takes it away from Mason Byer. Mason Byer's big brother Charlie Byer is sitting in the 4th spot, as well as Michael Byer is going to inch into the top 5. We've seen last, or at least over at Charlotte, almost contact between those second place cars. A lot of Byers in this field, and a lot of them tend to kind of creep towards the front. As we look further back, Amber Voigt, Haley's creeping into this position here. JJ Hill, who's looking just for any luck over the course of this season, is now into the top 10, as well as Zane Workel. And yeah, these guys, what I'm seeing so far, guys, is these guys are fanning out a lot into the corners. And I think that's just a characteristic of Michigan, but it's definitely opening up a lot of doors for these guys to stick their noses in and try to get just any spots. And that's what these are race car drivers. They're going to take any spots they can take.
I'll tell you what, though, the leader is looking real happy out there as they go 3 wide behind him. That is exactly what he wants to see. That's going to slow everyone behind him down. Mason Byer there, stuck in the middle. He's going to lose, I think, 2 spots here. Not looking good right now. They're going 3 wide again, almost 4 wide maybe going through this corner.
Dane Workel's another driver who's looking for a good run. He's been fairly consistent throughout this season, but he's going to have to notch a good finish. He was in the playoffs coming into Phoenix Raceway last week, and unfortunately a bad finish knocked him out, so this week he's looking for a little redemption as he's creeping into the top 10 on lap number 5. Top 5, excuse me.
Mason Byer, it's a family affair with the Byers. You can never count them out. It always seems like you're going to see a Byer at the front of the field early or late in the race. Just coming into early in the race here, it seems like grip is being the most challenging thing as we got a battle for the lead going for the inside as Stratus looks for the inside, and he might have him clear. No, he doesn't, but he's got another car in tow. Maybe he can get a push. I don't think so. Coming into turn 3, they're still side by side as we got a new leader, Stratus Tapai, the 39 car. Oh, he gets loose.
Yeah, a little bit of a checkup on the bottom, but Stratus Tapai won the season opener at Daytona. He's looking to become the second multi-time winner of the season. He's going to lead lap number 6, so first lead change of the day, and he's got help from Amber Voigt in that number 13.
I tell you what, though, Michael has to be hungry to try and win this race. He's sitting rather low in the points at an abysmal 24th, looking from the outside of the playoffs. If you really want to get into the postseason here, you're going to have to make something happen and make it happen quick. As he follows up real close to the back there of the 39 of Stratus.
3 races into the playoffs. It's do or die. You have to get them when you can. Michael is definitely not going to let this go as he's almost up there making contact. Side by side for the lead coming to lap 8. Anyone's race here. No lane seems to have an advantage here. They're both side drafting each other, trading the lead back and forth as another car looks to the inside. Still side by side, looking 3 wide here. I mean, you could throw these top 5 underneath a blanket, just how much the draft is crucial here as he loses another spot, side drafting down the inside Stratus. Michael retakes the lead down the backstretch for about a car and a half distance. Still, unbelievable this racing early in the race.
That's only lap number 8, but these guys are not giving each other much room at all. Zane Workel just barely squeezed behind the number 39 of Stratus, trying to get all the spots he can. The more drivers that are creeping up through the pack here into the top 10. Ryan Bradshaw in that number 2 Chipotle car. We haven't seen him a lot this season up front, but he's certainly making it count. Of a good car today at Michigan. Also, Alex Schumacher sporting the Detroit Lions NFC North Champions paint scheme tonight. Zane Workel up front. He's been creeping through this pack, and now he's up to second. I think he's got a fast car today, guys.
I tell you what, I think they were 3 wide there for a second for the lead, it looked like. It looked like Stratus went into the middle and between the 52. Oh, the 10 gets really, really loose there on the bottom. He's going to lose a lot of ground to Michael on the lead. He's going to slide up in behind him. 3 wide almost, no, 2 wide down the front straightaway, the 39 car. That's Stratus. He's looking to get on the bottom to try and get this lead back. Like he said, looking to go become the second multi-time winner of the season. 4 races in, and we've only had 2 winners.
As we come out of the exit of turn 2, tires are getting worn ever so slightly. You're going to see a lot of drivers here slide up the track. grip is becoming less and less likely as they enter and exit. I'm definitely considering the fact that some of these guys, you're racing so close together, one small mistake. As we see the 52 get loose, second place is closing up right there. Just absolutely insane. One mistake could wipe out 8 or 9 cars, just like we saw at Charlotte. I mean, do you want to be at the front at this? Do you want to be at the back? I don't know. It just seems like no one has an advantage or a disadvantage.
And with the way these cars are kind of traveling up the racetrack through the corners ever so slightly and almost getting into the other cars, you almost want to be out front because you want to avoid that completely. And making a mistake in the corner is very costly because these are big, sweeping corners. So just a little bit of momentum is going to ruin your corner. And as coupled with the long straightaways as well, it's going to ruin your momentum. Mike Pruitt gets a little bit loose up the top. Zane Warkel up to his side. And he's going to take the race lead, come to lap number 12. Amber Voigt to follow.
I tell you what, as enticing as it might be to follow the back so you can avoid most of this drama, I also have to agree. I don't think it's that viable of a strategy. With how hard everyone is racing here, the whole pack's still under a blanket. Once you lose ground, it's going to be very difficult to make that ground back up. As you've seen the battle for the lead go back and forth and back and forth, no one can really get a stronger lead or a stronger car than anyone else. Everyone looks pretty even here, so making any ground is going to be very difficult once you get back there.
That outside lane still prevails. Looks like that 3-car tandem's just chugging along. Inside lane's a bit more spread out. They don't have the momentum. Looks like Zane is going to lead lap 13 here. Unlucky number, but it's lucky for him as he's going to need everything he's going to get coming into this season. With 3 races left, you got to win everything and take everything on the table. As they come down the backstretch right here, Michael is still looking to the inside. I mean, just unbelievable. Michael has been just fighting and just not giving up at this first place spot.
Yeah, it's really Michael, Mason, and Stratus here that have been up front and have been able to keep their spots. So they've got strong race cars today, guys. I think we're going to see them up front throughout the course of this entire race. Obviously, trying to take those spots back that they had. Mason Bayo is going to creep up to the back end of Zane Warkel here, take second place away from Michael. So the highest he's been all day, and he's certainly going to be trying to look for more. I think the other driver that's creeping up to the pack here is Reese Kupski, who had a great spot in points coming up to Phoenix, but unfortunately midway through the race as he was running in the top 10, suffered an engine failure, and fortunately that knocked him out of the playoff picture. So Reese Kupski is looking for a lot to get back, a lot of points to regain that he lost in Phoenix, and we obviously know him as one of the most consistent drivers, and he's proving that today, creeping into the top 5.
Yeah, Reese now sitting 14th in points. Took a heavy hit at Phoenix when he let that engine go. Now he's creeping on up into looking for the lead here almost, sitting in 4th. Strong car, it would seem, as they go down the back straightaway. Another car that I want to look out for there is the 24 Mason Bauer. He seems pretty consistent here so far too. He hasn't lost much ground. He's only been gaining and clawing away at that lead. As he, of course, as I say that, gets really loose there on the bottom, loses a lot of time to lead. But I think that 24 is also going to be a car to watch there, Charlie.
It's a Mustang kind of day here. As you can see, the Mustangs leading in their own backyard. It almost looks like there's a Mustang for the 1st through 5th here. Mason being the only exception, I think being in 5th place as the lone Chevy. We all know that the manufacturer's trophy here at Michigan is more than a bragging right for these manufacturers. Chevy and Ford absolutely want to bring their best stuff. Heck, even Toyota, even though they're not a Michigan brand, they still have a factory, a bunch of them in the United States, and they do a lot still. So Toyota is coming here as well, trying to maybe swipe away as a 10 car gets loose, sideways contact.
Oh!
A big one, huge wreck in front of the field. Oh my goodness, they all check up and somehow only a few cars get collected, and wow.
Oh, they're wrecking more.
Huge wreck
Big
here.
crash here in the front stretch here at Michigan. It all started coming off of 3 and 4. Got tied for the lead. Now multiple cars are with damage here in Michigan.
Lap 17 here. Absolutely unbelievable. The tires were giving out. There was nothing left to give. Just a chain of reactions there. And unfortunate there for Francisco Baccia, or Eli Comerford, excuse me. Sorry.
That's really unfortunate. A lot of dominant cars, or what we thought were going to be dominant cars, torn up just like that on lap 17. That is very important for a lot of these guys. Look at Reese.
What an amazing job, though, by most of the field checking up and avoiding. I know there was still a second incident, but You can see here a lot of cars were just headed into trouble, but luckily they kept it green.
Oh,
Oh my
Reached
goodness.
heavy into the wall, but he kept it straight. He didn't spin back up into the field, I don't think.
Not
He
a lot of
might
damage maybe.
No, I think he might still have a shot to get some points here in this race, which he really needs that after Phoenix. Had an engine go midway through that race, heavy into the wall here, but he keeps it straight, keeps it out of the pack here.
5 wide, look at
going.
that, avoiding
Oh no,
wrecks.
he got packed.
Oh,
I
man.
didn't see that part.
That was something.
yeah. We'll see what
That
caused
is very
this.
unfortunate.
Kind of see what caused this second crash. And it looks like Eli Comerford, bang!
Yeah,
No,
brakes,
Eli.
smacked right into the back of the 46. Nowhere to go. Sent up the racetrack.
Eli's been having that kind of season. He definitely needs to make all the points he can get here. It looked like he could definitely make up a lot of positions here before a caution potentially came out, and it just did not work out for him. He just wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, huge problems here. Only a little bit of the way through this race. Stratus now with the lead. Mason Byer in second. Those two have looked fast all race, but we have a lot of good cars torn up and out of contention already.
Yeah. A lot of strong cars, guys, that are taken out of this race. I think most notably is that 10 the cars that were fighting for the race lead, the 10 car of Zane Workel and the 46 of Reese Kupski. So those cars were strong, and unfortunately they are now out. But yeah, Stratus Depaille is back in the lead of this race. Mason Byer behind him, and Alex Schumacher, who just narrowly avoided that crash, sitting in the 4th spot right now. So this is, I mean, these guys are taking this as an opportunity to gain a few more positions in a track where really anything could happen.
Some of the cars that got damaged there, the 46, obviously, the 10 hard into the wall with him, the 2 went for a bit of a spin, and then in that second incident, we saw Eli in the 3 just pile drive the 46 up into the 13, 16, 31 went for a spin, and Mike Byer, I believe, in the 12,
Yep.
also into the wall.
It was a hard ending for some of these drivers. Lots of promising speed, and definitely a lot of drivers who needed a great finish today, even a win potentially. And I know it's not over for some of them yet. Some of them just have damage, and the draft can do a lot, but it's definitely going to put a damper on their playoff hopes and championship expectations.
The 22, he got a little bit of the 2 there, set the 2 spinning. He sits still up there in the pack, mid-pack. I don't know if any of that damage is going to slow him down, but there's some cars spread out through this pack right now.
Yeah, I think there's a big, obviously, when the caution comes out in this league, there are racebacks to the yellow flag, and obviously that happened right out of turn 4, and that caused a huge checkup between, or really within the entire pack. So a lot of cars, like you said, Randy, that 22, I believe also, what's up there? Trip Belcher, Lars Diers, those drivers who are up front, Mike Byer, they got a huge checkup. They lost a lot of spots coming to that, racing back to the yellow flag. So that obviously was a big shakeup there, as those cars were showing a lot of speed, but now they've got a lot of work to do to make those spots back up.
And they're also mid-pack. So if cars that weren't involved in this accident start behind them, I'm very interested to see the speed difference here, because this is a very aerodynamic dependent track, one of the fastest tracks on the schedule. It's going to be really interesting to see the speed difference between cars who may have gotten a little bit of damage versus cars who don't have damage, depending on where the lineup shakes out come to the restart.
Definitely going to be interesting to see the lineup here, if the inside or outside, which lane's going to be stronger. I think that's going to play a huge factor into a lot of these restarts if we get any more cautions. Another thing I thought about here is we did run quite a few green flag laps. I think coming down pit road could have been a viable strategy here. You wore out your tires a lot, and it seems like maybe tire wear was a factor for that crash there. So it's going to be really interesting here. It seems like these guys might run it to halfway, come and get more tires. I know we only got 30 more laps, but that is a long 30 laps at this big 2-mile speedway with sweeping corners, and trust me, the grip is just going to go away each and every lap. So it's going to be interesting here to see how the old tires prevail and which line is going to be the best one to restart in.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there, Alex, how tires, were a big factor in that crash, because we saw Reese Kupski really just wash up into Zane there. Unfortunately, that triggered the crash, and I'm not sure if we caught these guys going down pit road under the yellow flag, but if they didn't, it kind of begs the question if this kind of washing up action is what we'll see again. But I guess it's time to find out as the pace car pulls into the pit lane. Strats Tapia will lead the field back to the green flag. Runaway lap number 21 of 70 at Michigan.
You see Bayer with the lead. Stratus underneath. These two cars really fast so far throughout the race. They're still in control, managed to get through that accident unscathed as they go down to 1 and 2 rather. Stratus on the low side, he's gonna get a little bit of an edge, but that high lane's been looking strong all day. That's where most of the moves have been happening. The bottom lane leaving that 39 out to dry in the middle.
Oh man.
As it's 3 wide for the lead.
Schumacher looks inside. This could be bad with tire wears and everything. Are they going to hold it together off the corner? They do. Holy cow. Almost 4 wide coming to lap 22. I mean, geez, guys, we still got 50 laps of racing left.
We're looking 4 wide again. Here comes Shane DiMantilva looking on the inside of Alex Schumacher here. And it's a wide racetrack, but that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Shane just barely washes up the racetrack, and they're keeping it clean on lap number 2 as Mason Bayer takes the race lead down the back straightaway.
I'm surprised to see how well this handling is going because I don't recall them pitting either. So if tire issue was a cause for that incident, it looks like under caution they may have cooled them down a little bit, but they're still really aggressive. Wow, look at that. The whole field all bunched up. You could throw the entire field under a blanket here, actually.
Just amazing to see as the field barrels into turn 1. Haley with the lead, leading over number 1, Molly Bayer. Is this 2 ladies leading?
Yeah, it is.
That is.
Wow. 2 ladies leading the field here in CharlieCar at Michigan. An absolute unbelievable moment for them.
Yeah, that's Haley.
Power, baby.
Haley, a driver who made her debut in Season 5 of the LGO Cup Series. Excuse me for the people watching this stream. I just changed it back to the green flag. But, yeah, Haley made her debut last season and had a few consistent runs, went up and over in Kentucky, but she, coming into CharlieCar, she's got a lot to prove for herself, and now she's leading at Michigan.
Mason Bayer, though, in that 24, he is not letting her have it easy here for the lead. He's right up there, sniffing the draft off that back bumper. They go down the back straightaway. He has a push as well. That Highland has been really, really, really dominant so far. Most of the passes comes off of runs down the back straightaway from the Highland. Let's see what he can do going into this corner and down the front straightaway.
Haley still leads by 2 car lengths, but that draft is kicking in. Anyone can come in and just literally get in line and just hope for the best. That inside lane does not look very strong with the worn tires. As you can see, everyone's bailing out of it. It's just a single file high lane fest. I knew the high lane was going to be the one to pass cars, but as your tires get more and more worn, you're going to run out of basically track to pass cars. So I think now it's a battle of who can save their rubber the best.
The entire high lane moved low there, trying to get around the 77, and none of that worked. As you can see, the low lane is really not working for these guys so far. 3 or 4 cars, I believe, pulled down, had a run on the high lane, tried to pull down to get below the 77, and none of them could make it past.
How about Francisco here entering the top 5? We have not talked about him very much. Of course, he's had a rough few last races. Just unbelievable to see him up here in a Chevy-powered car. Obviously, Chevy in their manufacturer backyard here. Hoping Francisco can get a great finish here and put himself in the playoffs even more.
Yeah, oh man.
Oh, huge checkup. We got a battle for the lead now. It's on.
Sarah Byers down to the inside. Haley with a huge checkup on the outside line, and Mason Bayer takes evasive action, really, to avoid that. Some drivers would be surprised that Mason Bayer avoided getting into an incident there, as he's been under a lot of heat over the course of this season. But it looks like we've got a new race leader, Sarah Bayer, in that number 6. Mason Bayer's not letting Haley get away easily. But yeah, Sarah Bayer takes the lead for the girls racing on that number 6. Mason Bayer's looking for some more.
Mason is doing the equivalent of not touching Can't Get Mad right now to Haley. Really close to that quarter panel. Both corners that lap. Now looking underneath with a pretty wide gap between them. Probably not wanting to cut it that close again. Those were 2 heart-stopping moments there for both of those drivers. As now Haley looks back under for the lead again here at Michigan.
First it was Haley. Then it was, Molly? Yeah. No,
Yeah,
First,
yeah.
Then it was Molly. Now it's Sarah's turn. It is absolute girl power time here at Michigan. It does not seem like they can be stopped here.
We're not even halfway through this race, and these guys are racing with all the aggression in the world right now. And as you mentioned earlier, Alex, Francisco Bacallao, he entered last race as the points leader, actually, but unfortunately had an abysmal race along with Kenneth Bueno. And unfortunately, he's dropped down to the lower end of the playoff picture, so he's looking for some more points. As well as really everybody, not really a lot of people in this top 10 are playoff contenders. You know, with the incidents of Reese being collected, a playoff contender, these guys are looking for a lot of points here. I think especially Jack DeAndrea, Joseph Goder, he's in that 4th spot right now. He's had a pretty rough season so far. This is an opportunity for these guys to turn their seasons around. Unfortunately, I don't know if it's too little too late, as we're creeping ever so closer to the playoffs with every race. So it's, you know, I think the strategy here is just to do the best you can. Just finish the highest you can.
Someone who I have to mention, though, of course, Ryan DaCosta. We have not seen him almost at all this entire race. He's been very, very quiet both races that he's won. He snuck up there and won it. Looking maybe to do that again. Very, very little action of him up front. And both times we've seen that from him. He snuck his way into victory lane. So I want to just mention that. He's been riding quiet back in the pack. Missed the big wreck, and he's still in contention.
We missed it, but
New leader here. Francisco takes the lead as we go 3 wide for second. The battle is on. Francisco drives away. He's going to look in his mirror and see this and say, see ya, I'm done.
I think this looks like the biggest lead of the day we've had so far. I'd say it's only 3 car lengths, but nobody has been able to inch away from the pack like Francisco's doing right now. The battle for second is only going to help him more as these guys are side by side. That's Haley and Jack DeAndrea. So yeah, maybe this is a sign that things are going to settle down here as we kind of enter pit stop territory. We've only got 4 more laps till we reach halfway through this race. So this race is going by pretty quick, but there's no short of action on the racetrack.
Barreling down into turn number 1. Francisco, that lead shrinking for Jack DeAndrea there in the B-Dubs car. Right now up on his back bumper. Following in tow closely behind the back straightaway. Can he make a run at it into this turn? Let's see what he does. He sticks it still right on that bumper, looking now a little bit underneath, maybe a little bit of clean air. Can he get that 30 loose up the track? He does.
Contact, they rubbed doors.
Corner.
Oh, he rubbed him the wrong way, and he's going to take the lead. What a move.
Jack DeAndrea leads that lap by just barely a car length, maybe.
We have not seen many AI drivers here move people out of the way for the lead. That was an awesome move.
Yeah, that move was executed to perfection for Jack DeAndrea there. Just barely rubbed him enough to stop that momentum, and he's able to take that race lead. Francisco's really trying to get as much as he can, and Francisco, this is his first race with that Red Bull paint scheme. I mean, he's really taking after that F1 Red Bull team as he's entering complete, front runner mode as he's battling for the lead pretty consistently throughout, I'd say, the midway portion through this race. So, new sponsor, New Francisco, maybe, as he's looked for the inside on lap number 34.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Charlie. Is this not the track that Jack got injured at a few seasons ago?
That is right. Last season, coming up to this corner right now, Jack DeAndrea went head on into the outside wall and broke a few ribs. Returned the race later, and yeah, this track has a lot of sentiment for Jack DeAndrea. This is his first time back at Michigan International Speedway, and it's serving him well so far.
He's definitely on a revenge tour mode, if you say. He has a personal grudge against this track, and he knows that he had some unfinished business last season, and he's here to prove it. And I definitely think Francisco is not going to forget what Jack just did to him, and he's definitely going to race him a lot harder here as he lets him go on the inside, but still very aggressive. With only on lap 35 did he make that move, and it's going to be interesting if other drivers will do the exact same. And if that causes a wreck, we could see it as Jack goes up the track here, and we might even get the same thing as here they come side by side off of turn 4. We got a battle for the lead. It's on. Molly Byer in pursuit. She looks to take it 3 wide. Doesn't. She falls in behind Jack. They're single file, side by side for the lead still.
I was just about to say, Haley is close enough to do that exact same move to Jack as they look 3 wide now.
3 wide,
Oh, man.
and they make contact.
Almost. Oh my goodness. Haley now with an edge over Jack DeAndrea to go down the back straightaway, except she has no help behind her. That entire high lane She is 3 cars behind Jack on that high lane, no one behind that 77 machine as they come to get a run off this turn, maybe from the high lane, side by side, dead even down the front straightaway. Who's going to lead this lap? It looks like it's going to be Jack, just by a fender.
I think this camera angle is really showing the dynamic of the lanes. As you see we enter this corner, the inside lane gets a pretty good jump into the corner, and both of them wash up. It's almost contact.
Bumped him up the track.
Yeah, and it's really the element of washing up the racetrack that really determines which lines are the best to take. You know, it's the outside line is the preferred line around this racetrack. When you're inside of someone, that person could wash up into you and completely ruin your line. Sarah Byer almost to the bumper.
Right there.
Sarah,
oh my goodness.
Sarah Byer almost contact with the number 28. So that's really the relationship between these lines. I don't know. I don't think we've ever seen anything like this.
The more battling you do, the more it's going to hurt your chances at winning.
And one driver.
I've observed so far, the way to get around the lead, it's been looked like, is following in pursuit down the back straightaway, down the high lane. Most of the passes have come off of 3 and 4, as we might see Sarah do exactly, or Molly, I'm sorry, do exactly as I was talking about. Maybe not. But it seems like the way to get around for the lead here has been following the leader down right on their back bumper going into 3 and 4. Slowly inch it down lower and lower, get a little sniff of clean air, diamond it down off the corner, and then you'll be side by side and set up for a pass there on the front straightaway.
Luke is creeping into the top 5. As you mentioned earlier, Randy, that's Ryan DaCosta, who has really made a name for himself as, I don't want to say like the creeper, because that can be taken multiple different ways, but he has creeped through this pack. Here comes Reese Kupski, who's got a damaged race car, and he's going to sit right in the middle of this pack. Stratus Sapai is going to do his best to get around him. But as I was saying, yeah, Ryan DaCosta, he's been slowly inching his way up through this pack, as we've seen him do the last 2 races. Yeah, that's his strategy, and it's working out well for him.
Ryan DaCosta has the right man on top of the box, calling the pit stops. Speaking of pit stops, when are we going to get them? I feel like we're in pit road window right now. And the fact that we haven't seen any cars come in tells me they're going to wait till maybe the last moment to get every single drop of gas so they can make it to the end.
Ryan there in 4th now behind Sarah Byer, looking underneath. 2 by 2 for the top 2 spots. Stratus now pulling down to the bottom. He's going to take their lead away. A hefty lead there now off of Jack DeAndrea. A great maneuver for him to get the lead away.
Yeah, I think
Stratus retakes the lead.
I think Reese Kupski, as a lap car, really altered this front pack. They were really, really bunched up in the last kind of 20 laps or so after the yellow flag. But now they're starting to get spread out, and I think they're going to spread out even more coming to the pit stop. So this is the time where you want to separate yourself and put yourself in a good spot to get these pit stops. Because if you have a bad pit stop, then you're going to fall through the pack, and you got a lot of work to do. So this is the time to put yourself in a good spot. I think Stratus Sapai has done a good job of taking back that race lead.
We saw the way that Ryan got the lead and ultimately the win last race at Phoenix was he leapfrogged the leaders and came a little bit early, got a little bit better of a pit stop, and he came out with the lead. He's now sitting back there in 4th or 5th. He could perhaps maybe do that again if he can time when the leaders are gonna come a little bit earlier than him, and maybe come out with a pretty good lead here coming toward the closing few laps of this race as he now edges his way up to 3rd. What a run for that car.
As you'll see, the field has spread out quite a bit, actually. This front pack is just narrowed just a little bit, and I think that's helped the racing calm down. As I say that, you look back and it looks like everyone maybe caught the draft. But still, looks like it's been tamed, only 2 wide, maybe 3 wide every once in a while. Definitely seems like the drivers are fitting in the rhythm here, feeling out the track and potentially getting ready. Now, for those guys in the outside lane, they're going to have to find a way to get down and come to pit road. So I just hope they communicate that with the guys below them. You know, if they stay out, how are they going to come down pit roads? So it's going to be interesting to see people willingly give up their highline spot to let others come to pit road, or maybe they can come to pit road. See how that will affect the overcut strategy.
That battle for about 5th or 6th is really heating up, as we saw coming off of that corner onto the front straightaway. They're about 3 or 4 wide. A big block there almost, it looked like, by the 69 machine. But that battle is really heating up back there. It looks like they might be a little bit faster than the leaders, maybe saving a bit more tires. I don't know,
Jack
but
to the pit lane.
Jack D'Andrea
yeah.
coming to pit road. We got our first takers right now. Let's see if they come down pit road speed. Jack D'Andrea. We had another car come down as well. These are crucial pit stops. This is the money stop right here. You don't want any mistakes halfway through the race in the most crucial pit stop. As we looks like we got another battle for the lead here. 3 cars underneath a blanket.
I think that might be what I was seeing down the back straightaway actually when those cars got bunched up a little bit. Yeah, I thought that maybe they were getting a run or something, but I think people were just slowing up, and there was people passing other people who wanted to come down to the pit lane. As we see maybe the leaders coming down this time.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. Stratus Depaille is going to lead
comes the
Haley.
other half.
JJ Hill. These guys, I think, are all trying to potentially do that undercut strategy, starting with Jack D'Andrea pitting last lap. So this is, it's going to be interesting. This is going to be a big shakeup for this race, guys. Haley's going to come down. JJ's going to make a shot. So we're going to see which strategy really prevails here.
You know who we don't see doing the undercut strategy from last week, though, is the 26 of Ryan DaCosta. He has stayed out on the racetrack along with the 22 machine of Randy Eggers. They're doing the complete opposite. The 26 doing the absolute complete opposite of what he did last week, coming down, I think, last. This might be the last group of cars to come down. Maybe not.
No.
It looks like we might have another group coming down after them. But the 26 coming in the third group to come down pit road. Let's see if that works out for them. Not quite undercutting it. Not quite staying out as long as you can, doing it just in the middle.
Well, I think this track makes a difference in this strategy because this is a big track, and tires. We're pitting just past halfway in this race, so tires are going to matter a lot more in the long term. So maybe coming down later, you're going to have that fresh set of tires a lot later than, or at least just a few laps later than the guys who pit ahead of you. But it's going to make all the difference here. So I'm interested to see if this strategy works. As this group of guys, is staying out still. We're going to take a look back and see how the lead shakes out. Looks like Stratus Depaille is able to keep that race lead. JJ Hill also there as well. Jack D'Andrea with the undercut strategy, he inches himself up to third place.
You got to think with the undercut strategy, now these guys all coming out at once might actually hurt them in the long run, as now they're going to be stuck battling each other for these next few laps or whatever it may be, while these guys who stayed out are just going to run clean laps single file and go as long as they can. I think if these guys keep battling, their strategy might just be all for nothing. They got to just get single file here, put their head down, and just put down lap time if they want to keep overcut everyone or even just maintain their position.
This is the lead pack as of guys. I don't know. I think there's a group of cars here that haven't pit at all yet. Starting up here, this is Amber Voigt, Ryan DaCosta in the top 7 right now, simply because they haven't gone to the pits yet. I wonder if they're going to try to stretch us out as far as they can. And yeah, I mean, we're eventually going to reach a point where they simply can't because their fuel is going to run out. But it kind of begs the question, I wonder if these guys were involved in that first caution flag, so I wonder if they went down to the pit lane, and this is from their tank of fuel that they got from that yellow flag, because Zane Warkels was involved in that crash, Keelan Belshaw was, Ryan Bradshaw. I'm not sure if I saw these two up here, Amber Voigt and Ryan DaCosta, but yeah, I think these guys were on a...
Ryan DaCosta's not on the lead lap, I don't think. He came down pit road. So he's trying to get his lead back. He's trying to get his lap back right now.
Actually, you see that right here. Ryan DaCosta is the first of the guys who pitted. Because he's being scored... My gosh. I think Ryan DaCosta may cycle out to the race lead here.
What a strategy play. He's been the Magic Man. He has been the man this season.
Magic Man potentially does it again. Now, we don't know until it's over, but it would be quite the three-peat if he could pull it off here with just under 30 to go.
And look who's in second. That's his teammate, Alex Schumacher.
Oh, my goodness. It's a repeat of last week.
So, Alex Schumacher, obviously, these guys aren't on the lead lap. Ryan DaCosta is on the lead lap, currently being scored in 6th. So, he's got an entire lap to make up. If these guys go down to the pit lane anytime soon. But yeah, these two finished 1-2 last week, and now they're 1-2 this week with pit strategy. So the guys racing have it dialed in.
The guys racing so far this season had a rough start. Charlotte wasn't good for Shuey. Had an incident there. He moved on from it. led quite a few laps at Phoenix. However, the pit strategy just wasn't meant to be, as Ryan DaCosta just stole it from underneath his nose. Still a good point stay. He's sitting P5 in the championship standings. A good finish here could almost lock him, but it's not guaranteed. So a win doesn't guarantee much, but it would help out a lot for Schumacher, as he definitely has come close so many times before, but just has never been the bride, always been the bridesmaid.
I mean,
I want to point out though, if these current leaders come down pit road, look who cycled out in third. That's the 22 car, right behind Schumacher again, as we saw.
We did see them
happened at Charlotte, and then he was in second for a lot of the race in Phoenix. These three guys, it seems like they have a strategy going on. They always seem to find their way in the top three, running.
Not to mention the disagreement these two had in the garage after Charlotte. Tensions were high. One of them felt like it was the other one's fault, and things boiled over in the garage area. CharlieCar officials had to step in, and luckily nothing of major concern happened. Just a bunch of pointing fingers and angry explicitives. But you don't know until it's over. Maybe LGL wants to come back and strike him one more just to prove his point, or maybe Shuey wants to maybe get back in revenge, or maybe the best revenge is to just beat him straight up. Who knows? Anything can happen here.
These three guys, they cannot get away from each other. At Phoenix, they were running all together. At Charlotte, they had an incident. And now, here they are running top three here at Michigan due to some pit strategy. As also, the 22 was involved in that first incident a little bit, spinning the 3 through the grass, so I don't think that damage is really doing much to that machine.
Definitely not. And it's, I'm starting to question if, when are these guys going to pit? Obviously, we see them. I wonder if Ryan Bradshaw's signaling that he's going to come down pretty soon. But, this might be a last-minute pit. Maybe these guys are hoping for a yellow flag. It's definitely not out of the question. But I'm just wondering what the calculation is when these guys are going to come down that pit lane. Because the incident happened at about lap, I'd say, 20, would you say, guys?
Yep, exactly, lap 20.
Yep, lap 20.
I think it was coming to lap 17, yeah.
These guys are the leaders, the guys who just hit on around lap 50. So that's going to be close, right to the end. 20 plus 50 is 70, and that's the amount of laps that we have in this race. So this is going to turn in, I think, into a fuel mileage race. It's definitely going to come down to if these drivers right here have saved enough fuel.
It's going to come down to one of those classic Michigan finishes. It seems like you can never race here without going, oh, geez, do I have enough gas in the tank? Gas is crucial here. So is pitting, and my only advice is that you got to come down pit road and get your stuff before it's absolutely too late. I know they're holding out for a caution, but the only caution that they might get is everyone else battling behind. If not, they might be the caution. We've seen tires absolutely just give out here when they're battling side by side. Ryan DaCosta is just pulling away, but looks like they're pulling 3 wide here. No one wants to really run away. As they get loose in the bottom, 12 car, still 13 still prevails on the outside, that outside lane.
Mike
He's
Byers
coming to pit lane.
Yep, he's coming in the pit lane, so that's probably a sign that these guys, it's time for these guys to come down into the pit lane. I'm watching Alex Schumacher and Stratus DePaille inch ever so slightly closer to Ryan DaCosta for what should cycle out to the race lead. We saw him get to his back bumper towards the end of the race at Phoenix, so we're coming to 10 laps to go here, guys. If they make it to him, it's going to be a heck of a battle for the win.
Absolutely, here it could be anyone's day here at Michigan.
Oh yeah,
and it's more important here for the manufacturers, as here they come, Stratus and Shuey, both en route to DaCosta's back bumper. DaCosta's three-peat is in jeopardy. Although the fact that he's leading, won 2 races in a row. I mean, this is just Hall of Fame performance worthy coming from DaCosta.
Wow.
I mean, just seriously.
That's Mike Byer coming out of the pit lane with fresh tires, so he's going to be kind of sitting in the middle of this pack. But he is on at least 10 lap fresher tire than these guys, so we could see a legacy run to the field. Yeah.
The 22 also has fallen back a little bit. It looks like he got stuck out in the high lane in one of those turns. He is no longer in third.
So did Shuey. Shuey looks like he's getting swamped here, losing positions left and right as Francisco climbs through the field. Hello, Francisco. Welcome back.
Battle for the lead now. Underneath DaCosta, that's Stratus. DaCosta had such a hefty lead. That lead has now diminished to nothing as he's now getting challenged for what is going to, I think, shake out to be the lead.
Yeah,
Is it going to be race win number 3 for DaCosta, or is it going to be the first win ever for Stratus? It's anyone's game coming out of the corner. It looks like Stratus has him cleared. Brand new leader, and it's the returning leader, Stratus DePalia, leading this race at Michigan.
And remember, none of this is going to matter if the 2 and the 13 pit, or if they don't pit. So it's Ryan Bradshaw on that 2 that has the lead so far, and these guys are racing with the assumption that these drivers are going to pit. Keelan Belshaw is also inching just behind, which is impressive for being involved in that first crash. So we've got a battle for the potential race lead and the real battle for the race lead if these guys go into the pit lane.
I tell you what, though, if they're in the pack like that and in the draft, a little bit of contact right there, but they keep it straight. But if these 2 cars keep it in the draft and don't pit, they could save some fuel being back there in the draft and maybe, just maybe, make it to the line and finish this race.
Single file here as they go on the backstretch, still side by side, about 7th place on back, still shuffling positions, but Stratus is pulling away now with the 6 car en route and behind.
It's also going to be interesting if these guys, if these drivers here do pit, they're going to have to come all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack in a track where the high line is preferred. It's going to, well, maybe that could trigger a yellow that takes them to the end of the race. So we're just going to have to see how this shakes out. But although this is a potential battle for the race lead here, it's still a pretty good battle for it's still a battle for 4th in the points, or a 4th place position. So even though it's not the race lead, and these guys potentially could be racing for not the race win, it's still a pretty good points day for them.
I tell you what, though, they gotta treat it like it's the race lead, because as soon as you stop treating it like it's the race lead, it'll become the race lead. As you see, they're getting very aggressive.
Yeah,
right
they're coming.
We got takers down pit road. Huge development now is with less than 6 laps to go. Our top 3 cars have come down pit road.
Yep.
And just as I was saying, it has become a battle now for the lead.
It's a free-for-all.
So Stratus DePalia is looking for a 2nd race win of this season. Jackie Ranger is looking for a redemption at this racetrack, and Sarah Beyer is looking for her 2nd win total in this entire universe. I believe she won in one of the earlier LGO Cup Series seasons, as well as, oh my gosh,
Robin Doors.
JJ Hill.
What a move. JJ Hill to the inside by DaCosta. Absolutely rubbed the paint off his doors, said, see you later, I'm going to the future.
JJ's coming out of nowhere.
A good look at the back bumper of Jack DeAndrea and said, I saw him do this earlier in the race, let me give it a try. And it worked out just fine for that 51 machine.
Oh, here comes the lap cars.
Here come the lap cars. This is going to be huge. Let's see where the field ends up here. This could be quite the epic battle here coming to less than 5 to go.
Oh man, Jack DeAndrea. But remember, these guys are the race leaders right now. They just pit for fresh tires, and they were a lap ahead of these guys as they came in.
What a strategy! What a strategy! Now, if they keep battling here, they're not going to catch them as they go side by side. That's going to slow them down. Oh man, what a strategy that got pulled. Absolute 10,000 IQ move. I mean, he was stuck in the middle of the pack, made his money, absolutely took his time, and he's leading with less than 5 laps to go. Unbelievable.
Bradshaw has not been swallowed up by the pack, and he still has those fresh tires. The other cars are swallowed up in the pack, and they might have a harder time getting the lead with those fresh tires. But this 2 car, fresh tires, still sitting pretty in the lead.
To the inside.
As I said, they go side by side.
New leader with less than 5 to go. Here comes Jack en route behind.
Yeah, it's. I wonder if Ryan Bradshaw is being limited by being collected in that first crash. Fresh tires are nice, but damage will do a lot worse. JJ Hill's also creeping into the top 5 here. This is a driver who we saw climb through the pack in Chicago and take the race win. This is reminding me a lot of that, because we haven't seen him really up towards the front in this race at all. But he's climbing his way up into the top 5. Ryan Bradshaw is going to sift back a little bit. But coming to just 4 laps to go, it's Stratus DePalia with the race lead.
I tell you, Ryan Bradshaw is sitting in still pretty good position here, despite the number of laps left. Fresh tires still up in contention. Anything could happen. As we see the lap car there, Vriskupski, he's still out on track trying to get some
this could be bad here. This could be major. Look out. Oh my goodness, they kills the outside line.
Off the corner, but that's going to stack up the
JJ Hill the second.
Below.
JJ Hill in 2nd place. Here comes Nate Grendy's in that Seahawks number 8 as well. Another driver is climbing through the pack. So some late showers here in this Michigan race, but I think the main story here is J.J. Hill coming out of nowhere with just 3 laps to go is inching closer and closer to this race lead. He's just 2 tenths behind.
This could be one of those amazing Michigan photo finishes.
Side by side, almost onto the quarter panel, goes J.J. Hill looking to get the lead away from
that
Stratus.
wasn't a good run off the corner.
Third. Here comes third. That's the 6 car. Sarah Byer looking underneath J.J. Hill. Here they all come looking underneath J.J. Hill. A little bit loose on the low lane, though, so J.J. Hill might have a run come off this corner. Maybe not. Side by side still.
Rush the wall.
2 laps to go.
He's got to get in line and get that draft here if he's going to want to make a run at that backstretch. He can't let Sarah on that bottom lane change his mind. He's got to absolutely hold his line here, stick to that outside, get as much clean air as you can, and then haul Bodie down the backstretch.
They're side by side there for second. So if they both get a run, he's going to have to block both lanes.
I think
here comes the 8.
I think
the
this
8's looking underneath the 51.
This could come back down to the final lap. J.J. Hill is just half a car length behind your race leader, Stratus DePaille, and Nate Grendy is going to fall back. So it's just these two that are going to try to battle for the race lead. Stratus DePaille is looking for his 2nd win in the season, and J.J. Hill is looking for his 1st in this new CharlieCar era. Off of the corner, he's looking to the bottom for the inside. This is going to come down to the last corner.
He's at his bumper.
He's going to do some mirror driving.
He's looking to the inside. He's at his corner. He's going to take a look on the inside, side by side for the race win. Who's going to prevail? Stratus on the outside. Are they going to rub doors? Who's it going to be for the race win? Side by side. Take us home, Charlie.
It's a photo finish at the line, and Stratus DePaille wins his 2nd race of the season. It started off at Daytona, and now he's got another race win at Michigan. J.J. Hill with a good race in 2nd place. Wow, guys. What a race and what a finish that was.
That was
unbelievable performance.
Incredible racing by all of these drivers. Right to the line, right from the drop of the green flag. The entire race has been action-packed. Wow.
Race of the year.
I lost for words multiple times there, that race, guys.
I think this is a candidate for race of the year. We saw some absolute amazing strategy, and not to mention Ryan DaCosta now has some serious competition in this championship, as now we have another driver claim their 2nd victory of the season. I mean, things are just getting better and better each race, and this is just absolutely unbelievable. Hometown native Alex Schumacher in the Detroit Lions NFC North champion scheme takes it home, looks like in 9th place. What a great run for him.
And we'll take a look through your finishing results here as Stratus DePaille and that number 39 takes home a race win. Not a much needed race win, but it's certainly nice to check off being the 2nd multi-time winner of the season. J.J. Hill, a much needed points position for him, finishes 2nd. Sarah Byers, we see these 2 teammates on the track giving each other little congratulations there. They're not teammates actually. Sarah Byer finishes in 3rd, Jack DeAndrea 4th, his 1st race back since his injury. Haley finishes in the top 5, good run for her. Nate Grandy's another top 5 finish, finishes in 6th. Ryan DaCosta 7th, Trip Belsha 8th. Alex Schumacher finishes in 9th, and Mason Byers going to round out your top 10. Ryan Bradshaw, good strategy, puts him right outside the top 10, finishes 11th. Eclipse DePaille 12th. Francisco Bacallao 13th. Keelan Belsha 14th. Molly Byer 15th. And Randy Eggers is going to be in 16th. Mike Byer finishes in the 17th spot. Amber Voigt, Joseph Goder, and Lars Dierks will finish in the top 20. That's your entire top 20. Moving on to Shane DiMantova, Emma Grandy's, Charlie Byer, Mushu Grandy's, and Kenneth Bueno will occupy positions 21 through 25. Michael Pruitt, Zane Warkel, Alex Williams, and Reese Kupski and Eli Comerford will round out your field. Well, guys, wow. You said it was race of the season, and I think I can agree with you there. That was an action-packed race here at Michigan Speedway. I think it had a dose of everything. We had a lot of great racing throughout the field and for the race lead. We had a crash that took out a lot of contenders, and we had pit strategy and fuel strategies to end that one. I think that really dipped in all the sauces there, guys. What do you think?
I have to agree with you there. I think any form of race fan, whether you like wreckfest races, whether you like action-packed races, whether you like strategy races, a little bit of each in any segment of this race. I think that covered the board for what I would think is the ideal race. We had the big one, we had a lot of strategy calls, and at the end, we had a great finish with a good run by JJ coming off the final turn to almost make it a side-by-side battle to the lead. Uh, I think that, yeah, I'd agree. Race of the year. I'm almost at a loss for words with how good that was. I barely had time to catch my breath throughout a lot of that race. Cars beating and banging off the corners. Great driving by everybody. Uh, yeah, race of the year. You said it, guys.
This race was definitely like a 3-course meal. You had your entree, you had your secondary, and then you had your third dairy, aka your dessert. I mean, just everything. Everything was given to you this race. You had basically super speedway like conditions for most of the race, and I mean, I can say that was just the most entertaining battle, seeing these drivers precisely pick and choose which lane they're going to go and charge to the front. And we saw a lot of battling where you could pass on the inside, even though the outside lane was very dominant. A lot of cars made passes on the inside, and I think that's what made the racing so unpredictable today. Was yes, one lane was the basically the travel lane, but you got to be risky to pass cars, and we saw guys rubbing paint. You even saw bumpers give to each other. I mean, when have we seen that for a race? I mean, halfway through the race, we had guys moving each other out of the way because they just wanted to be the lead car so badly. So I think these 2 weeks here are going to be the best 2 weeks in CharlieCar. You had Michigan, which is undeniably just a great track, high speed, lots of action. And then next week we head to the Charlie Bull Nationals.
Oh man,
just an unbelievable event, and my goodness, it's going to be great for that one.
Yeah, you mentioned I'm gonna end the broadcast with that. Yeah, next week is the Charlie Bull Nationals. It's gonna be a fun event that we have going on here. So I think these 2 weeks over this winter break are gonna be some of the best that we've ever seen in this universe. Yeah, we've got the Charlie Bull. We've got the, what was that?
I said mark your calendars.
Yeah, yeah. New Year's Day, new year and a new track for CharlieCar. We've got 2 hate races and then a main event with 20 cars at none other than the Tulsa Expo Center. So if you're a fan in real life, be sure to tune in to that race. It's going to be a fun one. So, yeah, that's gonna for myself, Randy Eggers and Alex Schumacher in the booth. Thank you guys for joining tonight. It was a fun race, and we hope to see you all next week. And to that, I say good night and big balls.
Good night.